She came for knowledge, but found something far more dangerous. Anna Delaney had always been the kind of person who made plans, and kept them. Raised by a single mother in a modest Boston suburb, her life was structured around high expectations and even higher standards. She didn't party. She didn't date casually. She didn't lose control. Her acceptance into Oxford University, one of the world's most prestigious institutions, was a culmination of a lifelong dream. She landed in the UK with a clear vision. Get her master's in literature, graduate with distinction, return to Harvard for a PhD. Then came James Ashford. James was impossible to ignore. Tall, lean, with boyish good looks and a voice like velvet. He looked like someone plucked from the pages of a 19th century novel. He was charming without effort, brilliant without arrogance. They met when Anna got lost looking for the Bodleian Library. He offered to walk her there. That walk turned into coffee, then long conversations under flickering lamps. He seemed to know her. He could quote her favorite authors before she told him, intuit when she was homesick, and even pick up on her anxious habits before she noticed them herself. Anna, always cautious, found herself drawn in. It felt like fate, or a trap. She never questioned how James always knew where she was. Not at first. By mid-November, their relationship had shifted. James had mood swings. One moment, he'd speak of her like a muse. The next, he was accusing her of withholding love or being too close to male classmates. When Anna tried to take space, he became manipulative, emotionally blackmailing her with veiled threats of self-harm and cryptic poetry that hinted at dark thoughts. Then came the night Anna woke to find James standing outside her dorm building at 3 a.m., soaking wet, claiming he had to make sure she was safe. She didn't tell anyone, not yet. Instead, she began recording her thoughts in a private journal and backing up her phone data daily. Her final entry before disappearing read, "Something isn't right. I don't know who James really is anymore, and I think I'm in danger." On December 14th, Anna attended a small party hosted by James and a few classmates. She was distant the entire night. Surveillance footage captured her leaving the pub at 10:47 p.m., James at her side. By morning, Anna was gone. Her roommate, concerned, called the police when she missed a scheduled Zoom with her thesis advisor. Her phone was found smashed near Addison's Walk, not far from Magdalen College. No fingerprints, no blood, but the phone had been recording audio, the final 7 seconds. "James, stop, don't do this." The rest was static. James claimed she left the party in a bad mood and stormed off. He said he watched her walk away and went home alone. The police were skeptical, but there was no hard evidence yet. Then came a twist. When authorities dug into James' background, they found a sealed juvenile record, the contents of which were obscured by a court order. Rumors circulated of a boarding school incident at age 17, involving a female classmate and a violent altercation that ended in expulsion. No charges were ever filed. Meanwhile, Anna's mother, Anna Delaney, flew to England and began pushing media coverage. Through public pressure, a new suspect emerged. Anna's thesis advisor, Professor Simon Hargrave. Hargrave, 46, was a respected literary scholar and former Oxford Golden Boy. He had written Anna glowing recommendations and often asked her to stay after class. Emails between the two suggested a far too personal relationship. When pressed, Hargrave claimed it was mentorship. But police found surveillance footage from October showing Anna entering Hargrave's office late at night and leaving in tears. Her journal corroborated what she'd feared. Hargrave had made unwanted advances, and she was planning to report him. James found out, and according to text messages recovered from Anna's encrypted backup, he had offered to handle it. On March 7th, a maintenance worker at Iffley Lock discovered human remains caught in a weir. It was Anna, bruises around her neck, water in her lungs, a sedative in her blood. A strand of James' hair was found under her fingernails. Faced with overwhelming evidence and a leaked phone memo, James confessed, but not without trying to manipulate the narrative. He claimed he only meant to scare her into staying quiet about Hargrave, who had once mentored James as well. He blamed a toxic spiral protection rooted in his own trauma. But the prosecutor called it what was premeditated murder, driven by jealousy, control, and a desperate desire to protect his fragile ego. The trial became national news. James' courtroom demeanor was cold, unreadable. He quoted Hamlet during his defense. Hargrave, meanwhile, was exposed as part of a wider scandal involving Oxford staff abusing their power with international students. At least 3 other victims came forward after Anna's story broke. In the end, James Ashford was found guilty of murder, coercive control, and obstruction of justice. He received life imprisonment with no possibility of parole for 28 years. Hargrave was convicted of professional misconduct and later faced charges of sexual assault from another student. He was removed from all academic positions. Anna's story became a lightning rod for change. Oxford University came under international fire for ignoring red flags and prioritizing reputation over student safety. A new student protection law, Anna's Code, was introduced in both the UK and parts of the US, demanding stricter oversight of student-mentor relationships. A memorial bench now sits near the Charwell River with a quote Anna loved from Jane Eyre. "I am no bird and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will." But the illusion that ambition and intelligence could shield you from danger was forever broken. Detective Elena Wright, in an interview after the case, said, "People always want the villain to be obvious, but real evil? It hides behind charm, smiles, and poetry, and often it comes dressed as love